Okay, this video will demonstrate how to access your labs in Blackboard for this course, and it will also demonstrate the steps required for the first lab assignment. We will need to go to UCA homepage, so whatever browser you use to access the internet, whether it be Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, or Internet Explorer, just double click on any browser, whatever one you use the most. We need to go to UCA homepage. So I will type in the address uca.edu. Okay, it's coming up. I'll just take it there. At the top left side, click on My UCA. Go ahead and log into your UCA account. And in the My UCA content layout, at the top, take the option, click on the link that says My Courses. It should then take you to your Fall 2014 courses. If it doesn't, drop down the arrow for the term and find your Fall 2014. In your course list, you should have a course called Intro Electronic Spreadsheets. Click on it. This will take you into Blackboard. In Blackboard, on the left-hand side of your screen is your menu, and it contains the various links to take you to different pages. So the home page link is the first one. On the home page, the first thing you will see the syllabus. If you click on it, the syllabus, you can open it, save it, but make sure you read the syllabus thoroughly. It has all the course rules and guidelines in it. It has all contact information, the material, required material, grading policy, attendance and drop policy, so make sure you thoroughly read this. But at the end of it, most importantly, is your lab schedule. It has all the labs that are due, along with the due dates and the points they're worth. So make sure you look at this. The course, I'm treating the course like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday course. So you will have a lab due every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by 10 p.m. So just make sure you look at the syllabus. Also, you will see on the home page a help section. So if you need help with your assignment, you'll see all of my contact information. It's also available in the syllabus. Or if you need hardware or software, UCA has a help desk. IT help desk, so here's the phone number and the email and the times they are open. The next link is My Instructor, and it basically has all my contact information again. Same thing that you saw in the syllabus. The next assignment is link is assignment links. This is the link you're going to use the most. We'll click on that in a minute. The next link is the lab videos, and these are the videos that I post for the first few labs. Then the last set of labs are very similar to the ones that I post, so I kind of show you how to do half of them, and then the other half are the basically same features, same steps you did in the first recording ones, but I don't record them. So you can go back to these previous recordings and look at the steps there if you need it. The My Grades link will show you assignment by assignment, what you scored, your grade for each one. If you need to contact me, you have my UCA email account, but you can also email me here. If you click on this email link in Blackboard, you're just going to go to all users, instructor users, and that email will come straight to me. As far as announcements, if I need to make some kind of announcement or let y'all know something, I will use it here. I typically will send you an email and an announcement. So if there's something, some kind of information I need to get to you, I might possibly post an announcement. So let's go to the assignments link. The first link here is how to watch the videos here on the lab videos link, so make sure you view that. The first lab assignment here is due August 25th. Formulas and functions is worth 25 points. The attached file is the instruction file, Excel Lab 1 instructions. We'll open that in a minute. There again, you see the due date and time again. And the instructions are download the attached Lab 1 instructions file, watch the Lab 1 formulas and functions video, post it in the video link. It's going to show you how to perform the steps. You can either watch these steps, you watch the whole video, or you can watch each step after the step is performed, pause the video, minimize it, and perform the step yourself. So whichever method you want to do. As far as if you need help on these labs, if you don't know anything about Excel, then the video's there for you. Of course, if you have any questions, please contact me, and my contact information is in several different places that I just showed you. So let's open the instruction file, Excel Lab 1. Whether you want to open it or save it, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and save it just in case I maybe get halfway done on it and need to keep it. So I'm just going to download it here, and whether you want to save it to your desktop, whatever you want to do. You don't need to do anything but look at it, but just in case, that's up to you. Okay, each assignment will have a heading. It's which lab number you're on, when it's due, what time, and the point value. You'll also have a set of skills. That's why I tried to save it, because mine is messing up. Okay. And you'll have a set of skills that you should be learning in this lab. So the first step is we're going to start Microsoft Office Excel 2013, and we're going to save the file as Jones Auto Cells, your first and last name. So down here on the taskbar, I'm going to flop between my instruction file and my work file. So to start Excel, on the bottom left corner, click on your Start button. And then it may be here in this list. If it's not, go to All Programs. Find your Microsoft Office 2013 folder. And we're using Excel, EXCEL 2013. Click on it. Okay, so we want to start a blank workbook, so click on it. And Excel is arranged in cells. Each one of these rectangles is known as a cell. Each cell has a name. The name is designated by the column it appears in. Columns are designated by the letters of the alphabet, and which row it is in. Rows are designated by by numbers. So if I click in this cell is known as E5. Also, right here in this corner, you have, when you point to it, the screen tip comes up and says name box. It also shows you which cell you're in. So they want us to be in cell A1, so click in cell A1, and we want to type in the title of this, which is going to be Jones Auto. Hit your enter key. When you hit the enter key in Excel, you automatically go to the next cell below it. So down here now, on my taskbar, the bottom bar of my screen, I'm going to click on my Word document to bring up my instructions. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to save it. Let me go back. Let's save it. File, save as, to the computer. Now where you want to save it, it's up to you. I'm going to put mine on the desktop because that way it's right in front of me. I can see it whenever I look at my computer. You need to know where you put it because you're going to have to upload it through Blackboard, so you have to know where you're saving it. You may have a folder on your desktop called Excel or this class, and you save it in there. So just remember, wherever you put it, you're going to be able to find it to submit it. So we were supposed to call this Jones Auto Cells, your first and last name, and click Save. And I've already got one out there. Okay, now let me go back to the instruction. I skipped a step ahead. In cell A1, enter the text Jones Auto for the title. And we did. Then I hit enter, and it took me down to cell A2. In A2, we're going to enter the text monthly sales by vehicle for the subtitle. So now, on my taskbar, I'm going to click on my Excel button. I'm in cell A2, and we want to call this monthly sales by vehicle. And I hit enter, and it's automatically now taking me to A3. I can see it's A3 because it's the intersection of column A and row 3 also by that name box. So down here on my taskbar, I'll bring up my instructions file again. In cell A3, type in the text types. Then we're going to hit enter. I will be in cell A4. In A4, you're going to enter compacts. In cell A5, mid-size, and so forth. So go ahead and complete step 2. Okay, I have typed in all the text that was required in step 2. And anytime you type in text in a cell in Excel, that's known as a label. We will be typing in numbers shortly, and numbers in cells are known as values. So down here on my taskbar, I'll bring up my instruction file again. We finished step 2. We're on step 3. In cell B3, enter the text January and use the fill handle on cell B3 to complete cells C3 to G3 with the months February to June. And you have a little screen print here that you can look at. So down here on my taskbar, I will now click on Excel. I'm going to go to cell B3, and I can see the B and the 3 light up also by the name box, and type in January and hit enter. I go down one cell. I need to, what a fill handle is, a fill, it fills a series, and the series could be anything from text to numbers. So go back and select cell B3, and how you select on it is you just click on it. You know it's selected because it has the darker border around the outline of that cell. Now in the bottom right corner of that cell, there's a little square. Okay, it's hard to see, it's real small, but on the bottom right corner is a square. Move your mouse and position the pointer right over that square. When you do, it changes to a black plus sign. When it changes to that black plus sign, click and hold your left mouse button down and drag across till you get to column G and let go, and it fills in the months for you. And that's the fill handle, and it fills a series. It assumes you're wanting to fill in months, and it does it for you. Saves you a lot of typing time. Okay, down on my taskbar, I'll bring up my instructions file. Auto fit all column widths to adjust to the largest entry. I will now bring up Excel from the taskbar, and auto fit means it will look through an entire column, find the largest entry in that column, and automatically adjust the width of the column to the largest entry. If you look at cell A2, we have, and this is called your formula bar right here. Whatever you have in that cell, when you click on it, it will appear up here in the formula bar. It's also the editing bar. If I typed in something wrong here, I can click up here and fix it. But up here in cell A2, this text or this label is so long that it's running into B2 and C2. So auto fit is if you point to any line that separates your column headings, and there again your column headings are designated by the letters of the alphabet. So if I want to auto fit column E, I move my mouse till the pointer is pointing to the line between the E and the F. When it changes to the shape of a plus sign with the arrow pointing to the left and the right, just double click, and you'll notice it made it small, but it fit it. It made the width of it to the largest entry in there, which happens to be April. Now we want to auto fit the entire worksheet. And the easiest way to do that is this little square right to the left of A and above the 1 is your select all. It's a square and it has a triangle in it. If you click on that, notice the entire worksheet is selected. So with the entire worksheet selected, any line that separates 2 of your alpha characters that represent your columns, if you double click any one of those, it will automatically auto fit all the columns in this worksheet. So I'm just going to take the first one, the line between A and B, point to it. Make sure your mouse is the black plus sign with the arrow pointing left and right. Double click and notice how wide column A is now. It adjusted it to the text or the label that's in cell A2, which was monthly sales by vehicle. Now notice May is real small. It's not near as wide because May only has 3 letters as opposed to January. So that's how you auto fit. So I'm going to come down to the taskbar and bring up my instruction file again. On step 5, we're going to enter the values, and values are numbers, from the next screenshot in cells B4 to G9. Anytime you see two cell references, B4 is a cell reference, G9 is a cell reference, separated by a colon, that indicates a range of cells. So the range here would be all the cells, I'll bring up from B4 to G9. We're going to put in the values that are in this screenshot here in those cells. So bringing up Excel, I'm going to click in B4, which is the first cell. I'm going to type in the value 335000, hit enter. Enter takes me to the next cell. And what I'm doing is, by looking at here, I'm just typing in these values. I have a printout of it. 325000, hit enter. 455000, 75000, 485000, and 459000. Now, if you would prefer to enter these values horizontally instead of column-wise, what you want to do in February, you would type in your value, and if you want to go to the cell to the right of it, instead of hitting enter and going down, what you're going to press is your arrow key pointing to the right, and it will take me to the March. So if you want to do horizontal entry or vertical, whichever way you want, you can hit enter key. You'll go cell by cell down through the columns, or hit your arrow key to the left, pointing to the right, and you will go cell by cell to the right. So go ahead and finish the values. I'm going to go ahead and save my file. So up here on your quick access toolbar, you have, you can customize it. So if you drop down this arrow, if you want to add spell check, make sure your save is up there. It's easier just to click on the little picture of the diskette to save it. Otherwise, you'll have to click File and Save, but I just want to make sure I save my work after I put that in. So down on my taskbar, I'm going to bring up my directions file again in Word. On step 6, we're going to autofit all the columns again. From my taskbar, I will now click on my Excel and bring it up. I will click here on the Select All, which is the square next left of the A above the 1, and then just double click any one that separates it, so it looks like it was already good enough. Bring up my Word document, and we're on step 7 in cell B10. Enter the sum function to total all the cell amounts for January. Then use that fill handle again to fill the formula or function to cells C10 to G10. There again, there's that range. That colon means we're going to go from C to G and include all the cells in between. My taskbar, I will bring up Excel, click in cell B10, and we are going to use the sum function. The sum function, and a function, all it is a calculation already built into Excel. There's several different calculations already built in, so you don't have to enter these calculations by scratch. You have one built in already. So to access the sum function, the easiest way is up on the Home tab in the editing group. The very first button in that group says Auto Sum. When you point to it, the screen tip comes up and says automatically added up. That's exactly what we want. So click on that cell or that button. It comes in and it's going to guess to its best ability what range or what cells you want added. And it's guessing the range B4 to B9, which is what we want. It guessed correctly, so all you have to do is hit your enter key. Now, if you click on cell B10, notice what you see in the worksheet is the value, the result that was calculated. Up here in the formula bar, what's actually in that cell is a function, and it's equals sum parentheses B4 colon B9, meaning it's summing up the cells from B4 to B9. Now the instructions said to use that fill handle, and this is where I said that fill handle is used extensively in Excel, and it will save you so much time. So make sure B10 is your active cell. Move your mouse and point to the bottom right corner of that cell, which is that square again. Make sure your pointer changes to a black plus sign. Hold that left mouse button down, drag all the way across to G10. Now don't be surprised if you get this E notation. All this is saying that is I have a value in this cell and the column isn't wide enough. We'll take care of that later. This is called a relative copy. When you fill, it's actually copying, if you click cell by cell, it's actually copying that function. If you look up here, but it's relative because this function in B10 says sum up B4 to B9. You click in cell C10 and notice the B's change to C's. It's copying relative. It knows you want to add each one of these columns. If it would have copied straight, this would have been B and these values would have been the same. So it copies relative to the column you're in. And notice in D10 the C's were changed to D. It knows you want to add up D4 to D9. Okay, for my taskbar, I'll bring up my instruction sheet. We're on 8 and H3, cell H3, enter the text totals. So I'll bring up Excel. I'll go to click on cell H3 and type in the word totals. Okay, for my taskbar, I'll bring up my instruction sheet. In H4, we're going to enter formula or function that will total all the sales for compacts, the compact cars, from January to June, and then we're going to use that fill handle to fill the formula or function from H4 to H5 through H9. So it's basically what we just did, except we're doing it vertically instead of horizontally. So for my taskbar, I'll bring up my Excel work file. In H4, we want the sum function, so on the Home tab, in the editing group, click on the auto sum, and it's taking a guess that I want to add up B4 to G4, which is the range I want added. And how it guesses is that it looks at the cell above it and it has totals in it, which is a label. It says I can't add that. Over to the right is a cell that's empty, there's nothing in it. Bottom, right below that cell, it's nothing. But to the left of that sum function, there's a value, so it keeps going across, keeps finding values till it finally hits cell A4, which has a label in it. It says, no, I can't add a label. It's not always going to guess right. We're just getting lucky right now. So that's the exact range we want, so hit enter. Now go back to cell H4 that has the function in it that we want to fill down. Take your mouse and point to the bottom right corner of H4, which is the fill handle, the little square on the bottom right corner. The shape should change to a black plus sign. Left click, hold that mouse button down and drag all the way down to H9. And notice it's a relative because this is the sum of B through G4. Notice how that's row 4 it's adding. But we go to H5, notice how the 4's changed to 5. It's copying, it was a relative copy. The fill handle does a relative copy. It's relative to the row that we're in. If we go down to the next cell up here in the formula bar, it's adding up row 6. So that's what the fill handle does for you. Okay, from the taskbar, I'll bring up my instructions. On step 10, we want to merge and center the title Jones Auto across A1 to H1. And then on step 11, we want to merge and center the subtitle monthly sales by vehicle across A2 to H2. Okay, I will now, for my taskbar, bring up my Excel file. And the title of this worksheet is Jones Auto. And we've got it in cell A1. We need it centered over the width of this worksheet. We could try typing it in maybe C and see if maybe it would center itself, but there's a feature in Excel that'll automatically center this title for you. What you have to do is select the range of cells that you want it centered over. So what we're going to do is we need it centered over the width of this, the width of the worksheet that has the data in it. So really we need it centered over cells A, or column A through H. So we're going to select a series of cells. In order to select a cell, point to the first cell that you want in the series and make sure that pointer is a white plus sign or a white cross. That puts you in selection mode. So just point right to the center of that cell. Make sure it's the white cross, white plus sign, left click, hold your mouse button down and drag all the way across to H. So you have the range A1 to H1 selected. On your Home tab in the alignment group, you have a button called Merge and Center. Click on it, and automatically merges that into one large cell and centers the text exactly in the center over the width of your selected area. We're going to do the same thing for A2, the subtitle. So select the range A2 to H2. On the Home tab, in the Alignment group, click Merge and Center, and automatically centers it. Okay, we'll bring up from our taskbar the Word document. On 12, we're going to change the font and style of the title to 14-point Arial Black. And on step 13, we're going to change the font style and size for the subtotal to 12-point Arial Rounded BT Bold. So bring up your Excel document from the taskbar. I'm going to just click in cell A1, which is the title. On the Home tab in the Font group, we want to change the size to 14, so click the drop-down arrow for the size, font size. Click on 14. On the Home tab in the Font group, click down the arrow on the font style and find Arial Black. Okay, click in cell A2. In A2, we're supposed to change the subtitle to a size 12. So on the Home tab in the Font group, click the font size arrow, click the drop down, click on 12. On the Home tab in the Font group, click the drop down arrow for the font style and Arial Rounded BT Bold. Okay, from the taskbar on the bottom of my screen, I'm going to bring up my Word direction file. On step 14, we want to bold and italicize all other labels in the spreadsheet. Now, label is any text. All other labels, so we already did the title and subtitle, so all other labels other than the title and subtitle. Bring up your Excel document from your taskbar. Okay, titles is any text, so cells A3 through A10 are text, they're labels. So to select that range, move your mouse and point right into the center of cell A3. Make sure your pointer is the white plus sign. Left click, hold that mouse button down and drag all the way down to A10. And we want to bold and italicize it. So on the Home tab, in the Font group, click on the B for bold, I for italics. January through June and totals is also labeled, so we need to bold and italicize it. So we need to select the range B3 to H3. So move your mouse so that the pointer is right in the middle of cell B3, right in the middle of January. Make sure it's that white arrow. Left click, hold that mouse button down, drag all the way across to H3. And on the Home tab in the Font group, click on B for bold, I for italics. Okay, from my taskbar, on the bottom of my screen, I'll bring up my Word directions file again. And we're on step 15. We want to format all values to currency with 0 decimal places. And then we're going to set the column widths of B to H to a size of 13. Okay, so for my taskbar, I will bring up my Excel work file. And we want to select all the values. And all the values are numbers. So that would be the range B4 down to H10. So to select a range, just point anywhere in the middle of cell B4. So move your mouse so that the pointer, which is a white plus sign or white cross, is right in the middle of cell B4. Left click, hold that mouse button down and drag across and down till you have all the values selected. All the values in the box. You can see them in an outlined box. 2 ways to do currency. Okay, on the Home tab, in the number group, you have a drop-down arrow. If you point to this box, it says number format. If you drop down that arrow, you see currency there. Okay, it wanted currency with 0 decimals. When you do currency here, it automatically puts into decimals. So with all of this still selected, in the number group, you have the last 2 buttons on the bottom row. One says increase decimal, one says decrease decimal. If I click the decrease decimal 2 times, then I have currency and I have no decimals. Another way we could have done this is on the Home tab in the Styles group. If I click this last section where you have several different styles, there's an arrow going up and down. It takes you row by row so you can see the different styles you can pick from. The last button in that group, which is arrow pointing down with a light up above it, when you point to it, the screen tip comes up and says more. That's known as your more button. When you click on it, it shows you all the styles you have options from. And notice down here at the bottom where it says number format, this says currency and it has a 0. This is currency with no decimals. If I click on it, it will also format it as currency with no decimals. But notice this one, when you have the currency with no decimals through the styles, notice how the $ is left aligned in each cell. Whereas the route that we took, where we just did up here in the number format, the $ is right next to the number. It doesn't matter which one you do. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter where the $ is. So whether you do the currency through the number section or over here on styles, and you do currency 0 here, it doesn't matter. They're both the same difference. Okay. Bring up my Word direction file. And we need to set the columns of B to H to a size of 13. So I'm going to bring up my Excel file. And what you do is if you point to this line that separates column B and C, left click, hold that mouse button down, notice the width. You will see the width as a number in characters or in pixels. We need a width of 13, so if I drag this and see 13 and I'll let go, that's a size 13. I don't want to do this individually. We have to do it for all the way to H. You can select all the columns and do it at once, or you can do it, there again, I could click here, point to the line that separates C and D, make sure it's the shape of a black plus sign, arrow pointing left and right, and drag it to 13, or I can select all these columns at one time and do them all at once. How you select multiple columns at one time is point to the first column in the series that you want, and when you point to that column header, which is the B, make sure your mouse, the pointer changes to a black arrow pointing down. Left click, hold that mouse button down, and just drag all the way across to H, and it selects all these columns. So now, it doesn't matter any one of these lines that separates any one of these columns. When I change it to a 13, it's going to change all of those columns selected to a 13. So point to any line you want, left, and make sure it changes to that black plus sign, the arrow pointing left and right. Left click, hold that mouse button down, drag until you see the width and it says 13, and then let go, and they're all a size 13. You did all of them at one time as opposed to individually. For my taskbar, I'll bring up my Word document. On step 16, we're going to center the text in cells B3 through H3. B3 through H3. So I'll bring up my Excel. Select the range B3 through H3, and that's actually the months and the totals. So just make sure you move your mouse and that pointer is right in the middle of cell B3. It's the white plus sign or the white cross. Left click, hold that mouse button down and drag all the way across the totals. And we want to center these, so on the Home tab and the Alignment group, click the Center button and they're centered in the cells. From the taskbar, I'll bring up my Word document. We need to add the background of blue accent 1 lighter 40% to both the title and the subtitle by using the fill color option in the fonts group on the Home tab. So on my taskbar, I'll bring up my Excel file. I'm going to select cells A1 and A2 because we want the background color on the subtitles. And on the Home tab in the font group, find the fill color button. All you do is point to it. It's the, looks like a paint can spilling over. Click the drop down arrow and it's a blue, so find a blue and point to it and then look at the screen tip. We need blue accent 1 lighter 40%. So it's got to be in this column. So point down blue accent 1 lighter 80 and keep pointing until you see blue accent 1 lighter 40%. That's it. So click on it and it just puts a nice border in the background. For my taskbar, I'll bring my Word directions up. And so you can see like this, here's a screen print of it. Make sure you kind of compare your values here to this one to make sure that we did the right sum function in here. So just to compare your screen to this the document here. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is make a chart. So step 18, we want to create a 3D clustered column chart based on the labels and values. Labels, text, values, or numbers in cells A3 to G9. So for my taskbar, I'll bring up my Excel file. I want to select the range A3. So I'm going to left click in A3 all the way to G9. Now all we're selecting is the types of cars, the months, and the values. We don't want to put the totals in because the totals will distort our chart. We just want to compare all the vehicle sales in this first 6 months here. So totals would distort it. So with the range A3 through G9 selected, up on your ribbon, click on the Insert tab, and in the Charts group, click on the Chart button that says Insert Column Chart, and we want a 3D cluster. So let's not look at the 2Ds, go straight to the 3D. Wait a second and let the screen tip jump up and see if it says 3D clustered column. That's it. That's the correct one, so select it. And the chart comes right into your worksheet. The next step here, we want to move the upper left edge of the chart to cell A13. When the chart came in, it came in right on top of our data, so we can't really see anything. If you click anywhere outside of this chart, notice it doesn't have a border around it, which means it's not selected. You can't do anything. So in order to move it, you have to select it. So click in any open white space on this chart. When you do, now you have a border around it. Whenever you point anywhere inside this chart, or even on the border line, any open white space, and your pointer becomes a white arrow pointing to a plus sign with arrows pointing up, down, left, and right, then you're in the move mode. So it's got to be that shape or else you're not moving it. So left click once you have that shape pointer to that size, and then drag it down, and we're supposed to move the upper edge to cell A13. So you're just going to drag, and then when you get it to A13, let go. Drag and drop. Now we want to extend the width of the chart to match the width of the spreadsheet. So what we're going to do is extend the chart's right border to the right side of column H. So I will now, from my taskbar, click on Excel. And when the chart is selected, notice the border around it. In the center of each side is a little round dot. When you point to the round dot, your pointer will change to a single arrow pointing left and right. When it changes to that shape, now make sure you're on the right hand side and you're in the center of it. Left click, hold that mouse button down, and we want to drag it all the way to the right side of column H. So all we're doing is trying to extend it so that it's the same width as our data above it. Okay, I'm going to bring up my Word document. We want to add the title Jones Auto Sales above the top of the chart, and then we want to enter your first and last name in cell A30. So for my taskbar, I'll bring up my work file, and I want to add the title. Now this chart happens to already have a title up here. This plus sign to the left of it, this is what your chart elements, what appear and don't appear. So if you don't have a chart title, notice when I check mark this, it goes away. If I want a chart title, if you point to chart title, click the arrow pointing to the right. This one defaults to above, but we could do centered overlay or other options. Just make sure it is above the chart. And if you just click in this chart box, right up here, when you're in that chart box, that means you're actively can type in anything. Up here in your formula bar, you can type in the chart title, Jones Auto Sales. And from the formula bar, also known as the editing bar, you can either hit your enter key, or this arrow right over here to the left of it is the same as hitting the enter key. You can click on that check mark and it comes in. Oop, and I messed up. Oh, this is great, so I can show you how to fix it. You could have also selected it here and typed it in here. You didn't have to go to the formula bar. So there's several ways to do this. So right now, I can fix it. Click. Now, click anywhere outside once it's selected. In order to take your typing, just click anywhere in any open white space over here, and it will, don't hit enter. If you hit enter in here, all you're going to do is make another line. That's not what we want. You've got to click out here in open white space to select the text, to have it accepted. Okay, we need to rename sheet 1 to monthly sales. So I will bring up my Excel work file. How you rename a sheet, so this is called a workbook. Whenever you open Excel, this is called a workbook because this can consist of as many sheets as you want. You can add. Each individual sheet in the workbook is known as a worksheet. So we're working a worksheet, but the whole file is considered a workbook. So to rename a sheet, down here at the sheet tab at the bottom, just where it says sheet 1, double click on it and just type in monthly sales. Or another way to rename it, another option we could have done is if you right click on that tab, you have the option that says rename, and then you could have typed it in. So either way, double click on it, type in the name, or right click on the tab, select the option to rename it, tab, and rename. So 2 ways to do this. Okay, now we need to spell check the entire spreadsheet. So I'll bring up Excel. I'm going to go to cell A1. If I'm anywhere out here in this worksheet and I want to go to the very top of my worksheet, just if you hold your control key down and hit your home key, it'll automatically take you to cell A1. And we want to spell check. You may have your spell check active up here on your quick access toolbar, and how you do that is if you don't, when you click down this arrow to customize it, let's say you don't have it up there, if you do want to put it up there, like your print, it's easier just to click on the quick access toolbar to save, click that drop down arrow and you can customize it. So I want my spell check up there, so I can click here, which is just 1 click to start the spell check, or on your home tab in the on the review tab on the ribbon, if you click on it, the very first button there is spelling. So I don't have any errors, so just click OK. From my taskbar, I'll bring up my Word document. An example is, here it is, so just make sure yours looks like this. Oh, okay, we didn't put our name in A30, so bring up your Excel work file, go to cell A30 and type in your first and last name. Hit enter. I'm going to save it, so up here on the quick access toolbar I'm going to click save. And now what we want to do is we're going to save it. We're going to submit it through Blackboard via the correct assignment link in Blackboard. In order to submit it, you're going to have to click on the assignment link, scroll down to the assignment section, submission section, click on Browse My Computer, find your file, make sure that's just where you have to know where you saved it, and upload it. Make sure it's in the attached file section in the Blackboard submission, and then click submit. Okay, so I'm going to close out this Word document, the instruction file. I don't need it no more. I've already saved this. I highly recommend you closing any files that you're going to submit through Blackboard. If you try to submit a file and it's still open, sometimes I don't get it or it gets messed up. So just make sure you close it. Okay, on my taskbar, I'm going to go ahead. The browser I used was Mozilla, so I can see in Mozilla I have my Blackboard still open. So what you're going to do is click on the right link. This is Lab 1, so click on the lab link to submit it. Oop. I bet I timed out. Scroll down till you see Assignment Submission section. To attach the file, you have to click on Browse My Computer. Now I saved mine on my desktop, so I'm going to navigate to my desktop, and it should be Jones Auto Sales, my first and last name. There it is. Double click or click once and click open. There again, verified under the attached files that you see that file name, Jones Auto, with your first and last name. Scroll down and hit the submit button. You should now come up with a confirmation saying that it's been submitted, the assignment is complete, and you can review it. If you have any problems, please contact me, and good luck.